Hello, everyone. Very good morning. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to another workshop in our virtual workshop series. I hope you've been keeping well. Before we move forward with the session, let us do a quick audio and video check. If you can hear me, see me, and the slide deck that I'm sharing with you right now, please acknowledge to the chat window on your left. All right. I hope I am loud and clear. Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Ramya. All right, let's just wait for a few more minutes for rest of our attendees to hop in. And while we wait for them, my colleagues will be posting the links to our social media handles in the chat box. Please do follow us and keep yourself posted on upcoming events and other workshops that we plan for the region. And in case you happen to miss any of our previous workshops, not to worry, we'll share the recorded link with you. You can have a look at it at your own convenient time. And even today's workshop is going to be recorded end to end, and we will share that recording with you shortly after the session. All right. Looks like we do have our attendees in. So let me move forward with the session, starting with an overview of Showtime. There are a number of tabs towards your left. Let me point them out one by one, starting with the questions tab. If you have any questions during the session, please be sure to post them in the questions tab. This will help us answer all your questions one by one in an orderly fashion, and this also ensures that none of your questions go unanswered. And then we have the polls. We will be rolling out a few polls throughout this workshop. Please do participate in all of our polls to keep this workshop engaged. We've already met in the chat window. If you have any issues with audio or video, you could let us know through the chat window. However, if there is such an issue, I would suggest that you refresh your browser because 99% of the time it tends to solve the problem. And I also suggest that you use a Chrome browser for seamless Showtime usage. And last but not the least, we have the handouts where we've attached a PDF with help links that is aligned towards today's session. You can download them anytime before the session ends. The topic for today is automate concurrent workflows and collaborate with your team on the go. And as you know, this workshop is powered by Zoho Forms. I'm John Wilfer, an evangelist with Zoho. So is my colleague Anjana, and we will be your host for today. On the Q&A, we have Nivedita who will be answering your questions while your trainer Ashia is going to take you through the hands-on training session. And just before we start, if you wish to mirror any of our actions, please ensure that you have signed yourself into Zoho's account. And in order to do so, you may need admin privilege to access Zoho Forms. And please do not experiment with any of the existing settings. If you wish to try something out, do create a test instance that you can probably delete later after the session. All right, so do we have any questions here? Okay, I do have a question for you, and that is going to be the first poll for today. So, were you aware that Zoho Forms has a mobile app that is compatible with both iOS and Android? Okay, perfect. Thank you all so much for the participation. You can keep participating in this poll by just clicking on the polls tab. So, and for the agenda, there will be discussing automation, collaboration, mobile forms, and the respective hands-on sessions. And finally, there will be a quick recap before we wrap this workshop. That's it from me. Thank you all so much for your time and patience. Let me now welcome Ashia to take the session forward. Ashia, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Today's session is Automate Concurrent Workflows and Collaborate with Your Team on the Go with Zoho Forms. My name is Arshia, and I will be presenting this session. Today's session is packed with a lot of information, so I hope that you will have a good time and you will get to know a lot more about Zoho Forms via this session today. I'll quickly go over our overview. We have automating workflows and collaborating with your teams, under which we will go over multi-level approvals, task management, conditional rules, and notifications, followed by which we will have a brief look at our Zoho Forms mobile application. So without further ado, let's jump into the first part of our session, which is multi-level approvals. So you can set up hierarchical or multi-level approval workflows that allow your teammates and peers to review form submissions. You can configure these multi-levels of approvals to make your process more efficient and easier to manage. Your approvers at each level can review the form submissions and deny or approve form entries for a smoother flow of data. You can automate subsequent workflows based on these approvals and create an efficient system that works just for you. For example, one of the workflows you can automate is you can trigger integrations upon successful approvals. Zoho Forms lets you have control over the finer details of your approval workflow by letting you manage minute aspects of the entire process. You can choose the form fields that can be overwritten by approvers at each level of the form and give read or write access to your fields to each field to your approvers. You can set up notification emails for each action. For example, when approvers are added, when a submission is received for review, and when a form submission is approved or denied. And you can make email notifications fully contextual by adding field tags to your forms. You can add CC and BCC and more. Finally, you can set up a form approval admin to approve on behalf of other approvers in case they are unavailable. You also have the option to trigger integration setup for a form only once the form response is approved. And the approval admin can take over when the other approvers are not available or override their approvals as well. And now that we've had a brief look at what form approvals is, we will step into our hands-on session and explore how you can set up multi-level approvals yourself. So to do so, today with us, I have a simple contact us form. And to set up my approvals, I will go into the approvals tab on top here. You have the approval levels available and you also have approval settings. First, we'll go into the approval levels and configure this. So you have this pop-up opening, which is going to show you levels, the field permissions available, as well as your notifications. You can set your level name. I'm just going to type mine as level 1. And you can type in all the approvers that you will like for this level. So for today, I'm just going to put in my own email address. And you can add as many approvers as you would like. And this is an important step where you can mark your level as complete when it is approved by any of the approvers or by all of the approvers. And then click Next. When you go into Next, you will find the field permissions here, and you can decide whether to give read and write access to each field to all your approvers in this level. So I'm just going to give read access to most of them. Maybe I can change the write access for anything if there is a field that needs to be updated or edited here henceforth. Once this is done, we go into the next thing, which is our notifications. But before we go into notifications, I'm going to give you a few minutes to try out setting up your own approval level first by yourself. So I will repeat once again. To set up your approval levels, you need to click on the Approvals tab, and you will find the levels and approval settings as well. Under Levels, you need to click on Configure, type out your level name, and put in the email addresses of your approvers, and then decide whether to mark the level as complete when either approved by all or by any of the approvers, and click Next. When you click Next, you can decide on the field permissions to provide to all the approvers in this level. Similarly, you can customize the field permissions for each level of the approval process. If you uncheck the field permissions by default, Your approvers will only be able to view the field information provided in each form submission. All right, I hope that was enough time for you to explore how you can set up an approval level yourself. So we will move on to our next activity, which is setting the notifications for each level. So as I mentioned earlier, you can notify your users when they are added as approvers, or you can notify approvers in this level when a new record is submitted for approval. And finally, you can notify respondents and approvers when a level is marked as complete. So today we're going to notify approvers in a level when a record is submitted for approval. So when a form submission comes in, whoever is the approver in this level will get a notification from me. To do so, I will click Configure Now. And you already have your form address, and the two address will be the approvers in this level. We have a pre-filled subject and message written here, but you can customize this to your purposes. And also you can click on this here, which is the merge tag. And the merge tag allows you to pre-fill any form information to customize the form according to your needs. For example, in the subject here, I'm going to pre-fill my respondent's first name and last name. You can also pre-fill any other values here if you would like to. And once you're done, you click Save. So as you can see here, my level has been added with all the specifications that we made before. You can add any other level that you would like. And now I'm going to test out if my level works. And to do so, I'm just going to fill in my form. And just submit it. And we'll give it a few moments to reflect in my inbox. So until then, I will allow you to go forth and try and set up your approval notifications yourself. So I will repeat. To set up approval notifications, you need to go under the notifications option when you're creating a multi-level approval system for each level. Under the notifications, you can decide which kind of notification you want to set up, or all three if you would like. Once you're done, you can customize your email. You can add merge tags to fill in the email, pre-fill the email with form information, and click on Save. Once done, you will get an approval. Your users will get an approval when they have been added as approvers, or when a new form record has been submitted, or when a level of approval is marked as complete. All right, I hope that was enough time for you to check out approval notifications. Now let's see if my approval notification has been reflected in my inbox. And here we go. In my inbox, I have my email here, which says that a submission has been received for approval. So I will just copy this address. And when I open it here, I can see that my approval review has been available for me. You do not need to do the copy address thing. Once you just click on your link, you'll be able to open up the approval review for yourself. And here under the approval review, I get all the information which has been given to me in my form submission, as well as the person who I am approving on behalf of. And I can type in a reason for either approving or denying each form submission. That is optional, and then click on approve or deny. And with this, we've gone over how you can set up your form approvals as well as the notifications. So we move on to the next aspect of approvals, which is going to be our approval settings. So under approval settings, you will find the general settings, which will give you the option to customize the approve and deny button labels. You can type in whatever you would like for this, as well as you have the option to process integrations on successful approvals and automate any integration workflow if you would like. And then once you've done that, you just click save. You also have the option of setting up your final approval email, final denial email, and you can change your approval admin. So my approval admin right now, it's currently assigned to myself. And if I am, for example, shifting to another project, or I can no longer take care of this, or I would like someone else to take over, I can reassign it to whoever one of my teammates is going to take over from here. So now we'll have a brief look at the final approval email. The final approval email is quite similar to the other emails we looked at before. You have the from, and for the to, you can simply add in the email address of the respondent. It will get pre-filled from their form submission. You can add your subject and merge tag as well to pre-fill form response details, and you can add your custom message. Excuse me. Apart from this, you can attach a form submission as a PDF along with their final approval or denial email. And you can also attach merged documents, for example, invoices, receipts, or other documents that you would like. Once you click save, when an approval has been processed and your approvers have either approved or denied an email, approved or deny a form submission, accordingly, your respondent will get an approval email or a denial email. For example, if someone has given in a leave approval form and they're waiting for a response, with this, they will be able to know whether their leave request has been approved or denied. So I'll give you a few minutes to check out the approval settings for yourself. To do so, you need to go into approval settings, which will be available beside the levels configuration in your approvals. Once you do so, you can customize the button labels, the approve or deny buttons. You can change it to whatever you wish. And you can also automate integrations on successful approval. Once you click on that checkbox there, you can trigger integrations upon any successful approval if you wish. Finally, you need to set up the final approval email or the final denial email to inform your respondents if their form submission has been approved or denied. And this is useful, for example, as I mentioned before, if someone is giving in a leave request form or anything likewise. You can also change the approval admin who will oversee the entire approval process which you set up. If you are not available to be the approval admin, you can transfer it to any of your teammates to take over the multi-level approval process in every form. All right, with that, I hope that we have a holistic overview of our multi-level approval system available in Zoho Forms. And with this, we will move on to our next topic, which is task management or assigning tasks to any of your teammates. This topic, which is assigning tasks, goes hand in hand with the approval workflows. And you can assign tasks to members of your team to view and analyze form submission together and split workloads. You can set permissions to task owners, thereby allowing them to update specific fields. You can assign each record as a task to users in your organization. So every form submission will be assigned as a task, and they will be able to update and edit all the fields of the record based on the task permissions that you have set to them for each field. And they can proceed to work on these tasks. They can leave comments, notify the admin as soon as records are updated, and collaborate over form data as well. So this way your team can work collaboratively, they can update and edit form submission data, and then go forth in analyzing this data for all your requirements. You can also use rules to automatically assign tasks to your teammates. For example, if a form has been submitted and if there is a condition which you have added, for example, when, as you can see in this image here, if someone has uh, submitted a content marketing strategies a task assignment and they have selected a particular course that you would like, you can assign the task to whichever teammate is going to be dealing with that specific course. And with this, we've gone briefly over task management. It is quite simple, so we will not have a hands-on for it today. And we will move on to our next topic for today, which is going to be conditional rules. So we have under conditional rules, the field rules, page rules, and form rules. Now, before we begin, I would like to explain what conditional rules are. So what are conditional rules? They are a set of if and then conditions using which you can get your forms to trigger different actions. If your respondents' answers match a set of conditions, these actions will be triggered. You can show or hide fields in a form based on the answers your respondents have typed in a previous field. For example, a simple example to this would be if you have a menu form, and if someone is interested in the vegetarian menu, the rest of the menu, which is non-veg, vegan, whatever it is, will get hidden from that submission. And so your respondents will not have to see any information that is not relevant to them in a form. And this makes sure that your forms are concise and prevent respondents from halfway leaving your forms because they're long and boring to fill up. Similarly, you can send out emails, you can assign tasks, display a custom message, or redirect to a form or a website based on the rules you have set. And you can do much more with the help of these conditional rules. So first up, we will jump into the first kind of rules here, which is field rules. With field rules, you can show your respondents only what you need from them and make form filling a quick and customized experience with the help of this conditional logic. Using field rules, display only relevant questions to your respondents based on the answers they provided in the preceding fields, while automatically hiding fields that may be irrelevant to them. As I mentioned before, this rule will help eliminate the chances of your respondents tiring halfway through your forms and abandoning them by filling information that is not relevant to them. So with this, we have explained what field rules are. It's quite simple. And next rules coming up are the page rules. So the page rules are applicable when we are dealing with forms with multiple pages. So you can set up these page rules so respondents can avoid pages which do not concern them, as with the field rules before. You configure page rules to skip forward to a particular page or even to a particular section in another page in your form based on the conditions met in the respondent's answers or choices in a previous page. And finally, we have the form rules. You can set up what happens when a form is submitted with the help of these form rules. You can redirect respondents to a website or another form. You can send emails, SMS, and push notifications in mobile. In these emails, these emails can contain invoices and other documents. And you can also, as we mentioned before, assign tasks with the help of these rules. So now that we've gone briefly over what field rules, form rules, and page rules are, we will jump into our hands-on, where we can show you how to set up these rules in your form. So first we have the field rules. And to do so, I'm going to go back to the previous form that I had here. My contact us form. And I just created a very simple form here with a few fields in it, which is the name, email address, and phone. In page 2, I have given respondents the option of asking a question, and I've also put in a field here where they can state their question if they have one. I've also asked my respondents if they're a new or a returning customer, and I have a page with feedback for returning customers and new customers as well. I'm giving you a brief overview of our form so that I can explain why I'm setting up the rules in the following hands-on that we have now. So to set up your rules, you need to go into Rules tab here on top. On the left, you'll find the options of setting up field rules, form rules, and page rules. We're first going to configure the field rules today. Once you click on Configure Now, you can name your rule. And you need to type in your condition and then the following actions to be performed if a condition is going to be fulfilled. You can also select if any of the conditions are met or if all of the conditions are met if you have more than one condition. And as well as you can add many more actions as well. So for today, we're just going to type in one simple condition where if my respondents have a question to ask, so if that field where if do you have a question is ticked as yes, I'm going to show the subsequent state your query field here and then click on add. So when I access my form, you'll see that the state your query field is not available. If my respondent clicks no, it doesn't show up. But if my respondent clicks on yes, the state your query field here automatically turns up. So with this, you can avoid a lot of confusion as well. So if your respondent clicks on no, they will not have to see a field which is going to be unnecessary for them to fill. And this is as simple as it is to set up your field rules. You can set up as many rules as you would like and add to levels in these rules. I'll give you a few moments now to try to set up your own field rules. Now to create your field rules, you need to click on the Rules tab, under which you have field rules, form rules, and page rules available. Once you click on Configure Now for your field rules, you need to set the condition, add in the rule name, as well as set the performing actions, the following actions that will be performed if your condition is going to be fulfilled. And then click Add. And that's it. We have set up our field rules now. I hope that was enough time for you to check out field rules for yourself. So we will move on to the next, which is setting up page rules. Page rules is quite similar to field rules. You need to go into page rules, click on Configure Now, and this step is quite important. You need to set up which page you want your rules to be configured for. For today, I'm going to select page 2, and you'll find out why. And to add a rule, you need to click here. So I'm going to set my rule as, if my customer is a returning customer, it will automatically skip to page number 4, where I have the feedback available for returning customers available. And if none of the rules are satisfied, it will skip to page 3. So I'll repeat. If my customer is going to be a returning customer, under page 4, I have feedback available for returning customers specifically. So I will set my field rule to skip to page 4, so they do not have to type in any feedback which is for the new customers, which is in page 3. I'll show you how that works out in the form. Once I click on the add button here, my page rules get saved. And when I access my form, I can go into page number 2, and here I have, are you a new or a returning customer? If I, it automatically goes to page 4, where I have the feedback for returning customers available here. But if I click on a new customer, it will go to page 3, and then you can go and submit it. And this is how page rules works. I'll give you a few minutes to try out page rules yourself. So to set up page rules, you need to click on the Rules tab. Under Page Rules, Configure Now button. Select the page you would like to configure rules for, and then click on the Add Rule button. And you can state your condition as well as the page it needs to be skipped to if this condition has been fulfilled. And if none of the rules are going to be specified, you can select which page it should go to if none of the rules are specified, and click on Save. All right, I hope that was enough time for you to set up your page rules. So we will move on to the next and the last conditional rules that we have, which is our form rules. I'm just going to delete this here so I do not get confused while setting up my form rules. So to set up your form rules, you go under Form Rules here and click on Configure Now. You can configure form rules for a new record or for an updated record. We're going to try a new record today, and you can name your rule as done for the previous rules before and set your condition. So today I'm going to say that if the state your query here rule is not empty, you can either redirect your form to another form or to a website. You can assign tasks, send email, and send SMS notifications and notifications to mobiles. I'm just going to send an email to my teammate informing them that someone has a query to ask in a form. Once I've configured my email, you also have the option of including the form submission in the body of the email, notifying the form respondent, and attaching form submission as PDFs and more. I click Done. My rule is going to be added. So I have made a rule where if my form has a query here and this field is not empty, an email will be sent to the person who I've assigned this email to. I'll give you a few minutes to try out form rules for yourself before we check up if that email has been reflected in my inbox. Now, to set up your form approvals, you need to go into the Form Approvals tab, and you can set up a form approval for a new record or an existing record. Add your rule name, specify the condition, and the following actions as well. You can choose to redirect your form respondent to another form, or you can assign tasks, and you can notify teammates and respondents with emails, SMS, and push notifications in a mobile app. With this, we've set up our form rules. I'm going to have a look in my email if my form rule has been added here. And as you can see, I have an email stating that there is a query in my form submission, and I can just go into it and look up what the query is from my respondent and respond to them likewise. So with this, we have had a brief look at field rules, form rules, and page rules as well. And next, we will move on to notifications. We have different types of notifications available in Zoho Forms. We have SMS notifications, push notifications in the mobile app, as well as email notifications. Today, we will be focusing on email notifications. So with this, you can provide your respondents with a confirmation after each form submission, whether it's a purchase, registration, or query. You can include additional details like ticket IDs or reference numbers, and add in supporting documents and invoices and useful links as well in your email notifications. You can create an email workflow by configuring the email notification settings to suit your need. Add clarity to emails by providing contextual subject lines and corresponding messages in the email body. You can merge your field labels to pre-fill the addressee's name and provide customer-specific details in your email. You can also format the font and style of the content of text to fit in with your brand and make your emails much more visually appealing as well. As we saw earlier today, you can configure rules to set up dynamic email notifications that will be triggered when certain conditions are met. These can be customized depending on the form field filled out or the choices your respondents make on a form. With these features, you can customize the email notifications for specific situations and send relevant emails to both your respondents and your teammates when these situations or conditions have been fulfilled. Finally, you can send a copy of your email to respondents and to teammates to keep them in the loop. You can also configure rules that will assign tasks to your teammates based on the same conditions that cause the email notifications. And this also we looked up in form rules earlier today. This way you can simplify and streamline two essential workflows, that is setting up your rules as well and assigning tasks to your emails. Finally, you can add attachments as well as workflows to your email notifications. This notification feature gives you several options, and this makes life a lot easier for both you and your respondents. For example, your email can provide responses with an edit link. You can also give respondents a reply to address in case they would like to get in touch with you. And if your respondents typically want or need a copy of your form, you can attach form responses or form submissions as PDFs in your form, or allow them send them edit links as well that will be automatically sent upon form completion. And now that we've gone over what email notifications is, we'll have a simple hands-on where we explain email notifications in Zoho Forms. We're going to use and to set up your email notifications, you need to go into your settings tab. And in settings over here, you will find the notifications option, and you can select the email notification in your template. You can decide whether your emails are going to be sent to your respondents, and you can just pre-fill the email value from the form response to add in their emails. You can also add a reply to address and a CC or BCC as well. Type in the subject of your email, and you can pre-fill values from inside the form, and you can add in a customized message here. Here I just have a simple message with the first name and the last name of the respondent added in via this pre-fill option here. As I mentioned before, you can also automate a bunch of workflows and send form attachments as well. And once you click save, your email notification will be saved, and your respondents will receive an email when a new form submission has been submitted. You can also set up an email notification for when a form submission has been updated as well. So with this, I will give you a few moments to try out setting up your email template for email notifications. To do so, you need to navigate into settings, and under settings, you have the notifications drop down under which you can select email notifications. You can configure a new template for when a new record has been submitted or when a record is being updated. Type in the details in your template. You can pre-fill values such as the email address of the form respondent, names, numbers, and much more, with the field merge tags on the top right-hand corner of each email body, and then click on save. You can also automate workflows as well as send in form attachments such as PDFs and much more. And with this, I hope that this was enough time for you to set up your email template. And I hope this gave you a good look into what email notifications is like in Zoho Forms. So we will move on to the next aspect of our session today, which is going to be the Zoho Forms mobile application. When we're talking about automating workflows as well as working collaboratively with teams on the go, the mobile app is very useful. You can equip your mobile teams working at remote job sites with powerful offline forms with the help of the mobile app. The fully functional offline form software lets you create and view forms offline and collect data, and then the forms and the entries collected will sync in with your account when you are connected with the internet so that you do not lose any collected data. You can report job statuses from sites with live pictures and reports, take a snap from your phone's camera, and instantly upload it to your mobile form. And this way, you can attach documents and files from your mobile devices as well and update tasks instantly from anywhere with the help of this image upload option. You can also convert your smartphone's camera into a reliable code scanner, and this eliminates human errors while manually entering data, and it fills out form fields by scanning QR codes or barcodes, and this way you can avoid costly mistakes and save time as well. You can also use your phone in a kiosk mode and supply your respondents with a QR code which they can use to scan and fill in the forms using their own mobiles. And this is a great option for when you are off-site or when you are at expos where you need to share form quite quickly with your respondents. Likewise, another feature which is quite important when, for example, if you are at an expo or an exhibition or client meetings as well, is to receive signatures on the move. You can authorize form entries with signatures from the client or the task owner, replace the pen and paper with digital forms, and instantly collect signatures from anyone while you're on the go. You can automatically capture the coordinates of job sites that do not have a physical address when filling out your mobile forms. You can autofill address fields with a single tap, and this way it eliminates the pain of manually typing in an entire address, especially when you're on the go and when you're in a hurry to get work done. Finally, you can relieve yourself from maintaining all the clients for business cards, and instantly scan the text of a business card and auto populate relevant contact fields in your form with our intuitive app, and you can save these contacts in your database and instantly trigger workflows with the help of all the information you've collected by automatically scanning in business cards as well. For example, if you are at an expo or an exhibition and you are collecting client information via scanning their business cards in each form, this data gets automatically updated into your form records, and you can further use this for adding into your Zoho CRM and Zoho Forms integrations as well, and use this information to contact leads and collect customers as well. And with this, we've had a look at our mobile forms applications, and I will sign off for today and hand it over to my teammates. Thank you so much for attending today's session. I hope you found it informative, and I hope to see you again, same time next week.
Apologize, guys. I had some technical issues on my end. Sorry, I've just run a poll. And the last poll for today: what, according to you, are the necessary features in a mobile data collection application? Again, I'm just going to keep this poll open for some more time as I could see some answers coming in as well. So before jumping into recap, I just want to give you a heads up that there is this document available in Hands-On. Please make sure you actually download them. There are quite useful information available about Zoho Forms. So if you have any queries, you can pop it in the questions tab. We have our product expert live at the moment. She'll be able to answer all your queries. So, as you would have seen in today's session, Ashriya, she explained about the automate workflows, how it can be collaborated, and she also explained the Zoho Forms mobile application. And there were a few activities as well. If you were not able to do these activities, not a problem. We have recorded this session, so our team will email it to you as well, so you can actually try those activities in your leisure time. And as I said, a Q&A, we have a product expert live at the moment. If you have any questions, please pop it in the questions tab. Or if nothing pops at the moment, not a problem at all. You can also email support@zohoforms.com. We are available 24 into 5 as well. If you would like to share any testimonials, or if you would like to give customer feedback, or want to talk more about the products or businesses ideas, you can reach out to me and John at evangelist@zohocorp.com as well. We are available anytime. If you would like to share some feedback on our workshop, or you want us to improve in our future workshop, please feel free to give us, because your opinion definitely matters to us. So once you exit this session, there's a form which pops up. Please make sure you answer them. I once again take this opportunity on behalf of Zoho team. Thank you so much for your time. Take care, and I hope to see you guys next week. Take care. Thank you.